Hello, everyone. It is 2 o'clock here in Vienna, Austria, and I'm coming at you live. Go ahead and have a greeting. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's see, with the delay, it will start soon. So we are still pre-live, but I'm here because I want to start on time. And I will say to you right now, I'm using StreamYard today. I haven't used StreamYard for a few years, so pretty excited about that. Pretty excited about having this new experience with you to see how this is going. And I'm seeing some new features, some exciting things. And today, actually this week, we are going to be talking about LinkedIn Live. I had 2 live event guests scheduled for this week, and due to a variety of reasons, they've been rescheduled, which is absolutely fine. And I want to welcome you to this session of Mastering LinkedIn Live Streaming. And I want to show you how you can go live even when your guests cancel, and even when life happens, and even when things go topsy-turvy upside down, because it's about showing up. It's about showing up, using your voice, using your words, and showing up with confidence and being live here on LinkedIn. So, why are you interested in LinkedIn live streaming? What can you hope to achieve? Like, what's in it for me, right? Isn't that what many of us want to know? And because this one was posted last minute, because of the last minute cancellations, I didn't get a lot of reach, but we're going to talk about why that doesn't matter in a moment. I'm just double checking here to make sure we're coming through loudly and proudly. And welcome to my because of last minute cancellations. Welcome to my guests who are coming in now. I am so glad to have you here. So, why are you interested, or why could you be interested in LinkedIn live streaming? What is in it for me? I hear that question a lot. I hear it. And whether you're full-time career business owner or just starting out freelance and trying to establish yourself. Hi, Michelle. Glad to have you here. Glad to have you here live with us. Love seeing your name pop up. And no matter where you are, there are things you can benefit from using video, especially live video. And we're going to dig into them and tell me which one of these resonates with you. Maybe you want to improve your image. I'm talking about leadership presence, thought leadership, to become the go-to resource in your niche, increase value, perceived value of what you're putting out there. So this is all about improving your image, whether online or offline or both. And yeah, I want to point out, for those of you who are also showing up live, if you want to leave a comment, make sure we're connected. If that's blocked in some way, leave a comment. I can't see your name unless you're commenting, and I would love to call out your name. Right now, we're digging into the question of, why are you interested in live streaming? What's in it for me, Elizabeth? But Elizabeth, what's in it for me? I hear that a lot, and we're going to name 3 things, and I want you to tell me which one resonates most with you. So 1 is to improve your image, leadership presence, thought leadership, so you can become the go-to resource in your niche. Second one, increase impact. I'm talking about persuasion, increased influence, more contacts, greater reach, and just stretching out and broadening your community. So that could be increased impact. Does that sound attractive to you? And 3, increase your agreement rates. Agreement rates. I'm talking about getting to yes. This might mean for you more clients, more customers, a better job position, getting to yes in your goals in your life, whatever that might mean for you. So quick vote, whether you're watching live or on the replay, because I know some people are catching this on the replay. Which one is the most interesting for you? Number 1, improve your image, or you can just write image. 2, increase your impact, or write impact. Or 3, increase agreement rates. You could just put yes right down there. Yes. I mean, for me, I mean, increased agreement rates is pretty high up on my list. I want to get to yes, get more clients, get more conversations, get more people saying yes and using their voice. So, which of these results sounds the most exciting for you? And while you're writing them in, whether live or on the replay, if we haven't met before, hi, I'm Elizabeth. I'm a verbal branding expert, empowering my clients, people just like you, to speak English with confidence, to use your voice, and to change the world. So, this reflects right on back to that improving your image, increasing your impact, and getting those agreement rates up. Get to yes. And today we're talking specifically about live video streaming and posting video content here on LinkedIn and on other social media platforms. Now, I have my downloads didn't download in time, but what I want to do is pull up. I'm on a new platform, so let's see how this will work. I'm a little bit curious. I want to pull up my cat-o-meter. Have you seen my cat-o-meter before? If you have, like, oh my gosh, my cat-o-meter. I've updated it a little bit. And so let me share my screen with you here so we can do this together. All right. 1 second. Give me 1 second. Okay, StreamYard, this is a little weird. I'm just saying it's a little complicated, or my learning curve is a little. This is when it's nice to have a guest, right? So they can talk while I'm doing this stuff in the background. Oops. So let's pull up my cat-o-meter. Like I said, I did adjust it a little bit. I'm going to share my screen. And it's a scale from 1 to 10 here on my cat-o-meter. I'm going to add you to the stage. This is my cat-o-meter. You can see my little kitties there. And it's from 0 to 10, from 0 to 10. And the big question is, how do you feel about creating video content, about posting video content? So at this cat-o-meter, where are you on this scale from 0 to 10? So are you like a 0 hanging out over here and like, I can't even think about it, I'm not even going to get out my camera, it's too much? Or are you over there on a number 10, just like loving it, posting videos and shorts every day? Super excited about LinkedIn's new shorts feature where you can scroll through the videos. Where are you on this scale? Where are you? Which number are you? And whether you're listening live or on the replay, go ahead and leave that number there so we can interact and talk about this. And my goal after this session, after these 20 minutes together, I hope we can move you to the right a few notches. So if you are at a 0, let's get you up to number 3. If you're at a 5, maybe a 7 or an 8, and 10, I just want you to feel a 12. Let's get you to 12. Let's get you to 12. That is fantastic. So I'm going to remove my cat-o-meter. But actually I'm not going to remove my cat-o-meter, because what I want to talk about now is how to get you there. How to get you there. Because LinkedIn live streaming, its importance for your online presence is important for your career growth. But many people don't know the who, the what, the how, the ah. And in the past year, I've discovered the 4 main pillars. I've narrowed it down to basically 4 main pillars for successful live stream on LinkedIn and growth. I'm not talking about starting out right out of the gate being perfect, because whether it's live video or recorded video, it's not about being perfect. It's about showing up. And I want to help you show up. And so what do we need for that? And I've noticed there are basically 4 main. I just took off my slide. Not a problem. I can do this. We are really good. We're really good with this. All right. There are 4 main pillars, and you can see them here. There is verbal branding, LinkedIn presence, because we're speaking specifically about LinkedIn here today, video content and tech readiness. So again, that's verbal branding, LinkedIn presence, video content, and tech readiness. So what is verbal branding exactly? I'm talking about crafting a compelling message, showcasing your expertise, building a strong personal brand. There's a lot of buzzwords around that right now. So it's verbal branding, personal brand, messaging, and highlighting your expertise is what we want to talk about. Basically, it's all about knowing what you want to say and how you want to say it. But Elizabeth, why does this matter? Verbal branding is how people know who you are and what you're about. Your verbal brand answers three primary questions. Who are you? Why are you here? And what do you want? So whether you're looking for a job, looking for employees, want to sell products, services, looking for clients, your verbal brand will get you there. People can't buy from you or hire you or say yes to you if they don't know what it is you're offering. So it's getting your offer in front of the right people at the right time, clearly. And it's not about memorizing weird scripts or changing the way you speak. It's about using your own words and presenting yourself with confidence. Michelle, I just saw your message now. LinkedIn has shorts. It's new to me. Yes. And unfortunately, I'm not talking about summer shorts because, Michelle, I know you're listening in from Florida. Summer shorts would be your jam. But yes, it's on a new rollout plan for short form video content. So less than a minute long or a minute or less. And you can scroll through it. They're kind of doing it a little bit like Instagram Reels, and it's super exciting, getting a lot of reach, a lot of views right now. So for people who already have video content up, they're banking, like they're totally cashing in on this. For those who don't, if you start now, you can get on as well. It's pretty exciting time. New development on LinkedIn. Yes. Yes. So, right. And verbal branding is important whether you are talking about, let me just take this down. Yes. And verbal branding is important whether we are looking at texts for text posts, emails, newsletters. It's the words, the tone of voice, the energy you have in your verbal brand. It's also good for video. It's good for conversations. Once you know what's the tone, how you say, what you want to say it, and how you want to say it, then it comes out consistently and more easily with time. So getting a strong verbal brand is super important. And this is important for video as well as just LinkedIn in general, isn't it? As well as just business in general. Well, my golly, you are right. Maybe I don't need to guess. I'll just talk to myself. Pillar number 2. Let's bring back up here, back onto the stage. Pillar number 2, we're going to look at this LinkedIn presence. LinkedIn presence. And this is true whether you're on LinkedIn or a different platform. It's important to have a strong presence. Yes, having a clear verbal brand is super important so you can communicate clearly, but you also need people to communicate with. So you need to be present. So let's talk about how to do that. Most basic step is optimizing your LinkedIn profile and just making sure you have a headline, a profile photo. This is sometimes overlooked, but super important, and not a profile that looks like this, like some random. No, we want to see you. LinkedIn is meant to be connecting people. People do business with people. So optimize your LinkedIn profile to connect with people. And then build a strong online presence by showing up, nurturing connections, nurturing your brand. So they kind of build on each other. It's not a step-by-step process, but a wheel would be a better image here. And it's all about showing up. It's all about showing up, being present, starting those conversations, initiating those conversations, reaching out, making new contacts, not all at once, but slowly over time. And slowly over time, some people, they want to feel motivated and they say, "Well, Elizabeth, how do you do this? How can you stay motivated? How do you find your motivation?" And if you're looking for motivation, the best advice I ever heard was don't. Don't look for motivation. Motivation is a slippery, slimy thing that wiggles through our fingers without us even noticing it was there when it was there, right? Create simple, easy to stick to habits. I recently read the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, and he puts it out in so many stories and visual representations, super helpful about how to create habits for success, improving slowly over time and not all at once. Make these habits super simple, easy to stick to, easy to maintain, so that you can stick to them and slowly increase over time. I'm just going to double check this again. I got a notification that there's some trouble on LinkedIn. Is that true? I certainly hope not. Um, Everything looks awesome to me. And if you aren't aware, when you're doing a LinkedIn live session, it will show up in the banner image on your profile. This is my profile, and there you can see me live. Ding-a-ling-a-ling. So anyone visiting my profile page right now will see me talking. How cool is that? Thank you, LinkedIn. Thank you, LinkedIn. All right, so it's all about showing up. Don't look for motivation, create habits. So, why is LinkedIn presence important? And this is true whether you're on YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, wherever you are. Why does this matter? Why does this matter? It's about being present, staying present, to be front of mind. Have you noticed that certain people show up in your feed again and again, and it starts to build a connection, a relationship between you and that person? Even if you've never met in real life, even if you've never had a one on one conversation, we can still, as humans, feel a connection just about that constantly showing up and being present. It triggers that no like and trust response from others. And if you're looking to increase your agreement rates, this is essential. Know, like, and trust makes it so much easier to get to a yes together, to find a mutually beneficial situation. So don't just say you're the go-to person in your niche. Some people say that, but then they don't show up. It just doesn't work. You can't be the go-to person if you're not there. That's the hard truth. And growing community takes time. As I mentioned, can't do it all at once. You can't do it in an afternoon. Can't outsource it this week and have it done. Check it off my list. Growing a community, whether it's moving to a new city, starting at a new school, a new company, a new social media platform, LinkedIn is no different. It takes time. But just like all communities, it's better to focus on building those quality connections rather than quantity connections. So having people that are in your target audience that can give you that yes, that you do want to speak with, that you do want to work with. This is the goal here. And, they say, but Elizabeth, like, are you saying numbers don't matter? Yes, numbers matter. And in fact, on LinkedIn, you may have noticed that there's a special 500 connections. That's kind of this magic number. Once you've reached 500 connections, everyone gets a blanketed 500 plus connections. So reaching that number does make a difference. And not going to lie, I totally celebrated the day it happened. I took a screenshot. I was like, woohoo, party. It was pretty cool. But there are pods available. You can get in these groups where people will connect and you'll get your number skyrocketed instantly. But unfortunately, they smell funny. They do. They do. They smell funny. And I look, my phone's not gonna smell funny when I come to your profile and you have a pod and or someone with a pod, not you, because I know you won't do that. But you can see it. You can see the generic AI generated comments, or you can see they're just not a match for what this person is offering. And it does not lead to money. It doesn't contribute to your credibility. It doesn't contribute to the trust factor, and it doesn't lead to money. And if you're looking to grow authentically and get more yeses and more money and more growth, yeah, we want to maybe steer clear of that. So, big question. Let's have some interaction here. Interaction. How often do you update your LinkedIn profile to reflect the changes in your career or expertise? So, how often are you tweaking your LinkedIn profile? Are we one, daily or every 5 minutes? So, like daily or even more often than that. Two, weekly. Three, monthly. Four, am I supposed to update it? Okay, so are you updating one, daily, two, weekly, three, monthly, or four, rarely? We'll say rarely there. And just write the word daily, weekly, monthly, or rarely. I'm curious. I go through waves personally. I go through waves. Sometimes I'm almost on a daily, hourly update, experimenting, tweaking, trying things out, figuring out where things look best. Other times, more weekly, sometimes monthly. It depends on how much change is happening in my life at that point in time. I have a response from Michelle. Rarely. Sad face. Hey, if there's not much changing in your life, maybe you don't need to optimize so much. But I've often heard an analogy made to a new hairstyle. If you want to get those eyeballs, you want to get some attention, let's change some of those things in the background. Why not? And it also, when I'm looking at my profile, because I do look at my own profile, it's nice for my eyeballs too. Nice for my eyeballs as well. So yeah, maybe let me encourage you to get that LinkedIn presence, to up your LinkedIn presence, to show up with freshness by trying some tweaks and changes there. Good. It's all about showing up. Pillar number 3, if you have questions about that, absolutely drop them in the comments or send me a DM. Let's talk about that LinkedIn presence. So, we did a quick overview of verbal branding, LinkedIn presence. Now, ding a ling a ling, time for video content. Since I said we're talking about video today, right? So, let's talk about video content, creating engaging video content, developing a content strategy, repurposing content for maximum impact. That was one of the goals we mentioned earlier. So, in short, and I will um, take this down a second. In short, we are talking about sharing value through video, being engaging. And my goal is often don't waste other people's time. Time is one resource we can't get more of. We all have the same amount of time and we can't get more of it. So I don't want to waste your time or my time. So if you're showing up to my video, whether live or replay, I want to respect your time and give you value. So give me one moment to get a drink here. Yeah. So, why does this matter? Why does it matter to have quality video content? Whether it's in short form content or long form video content, people are quick to scroll on by. And if you're not putting out value, if you're not putting out something worth viewing, they're going to scroll by. And depending on what you're doing, if you're like, well, hi, I I want to do a video because videos are important. And I'm not judging. My first videos kind of look like that. Absolutely. And, we want to move on from there by using habits and doing it, exposing ourselves over and over and growing our video muscles. We can improve over time. so that we don't leave people with a bad taste. Like if every video you do year after year after year looks like that, I'm not. I'm going to scroll on by. In fact, I might even unfollow you because you're not adding value. And on the other hand, I've seen some videos that are intimidating where people are like, you need to do this. And it's almost like a boot camp. And that all content can either attract or repel. And that's one that repels me. But maybe you're the target audience for that. Maybe that's exactly for you. So it's all about putting out your verbal brand in a clear way so that you can attract the people who you want to work with, who you want to connect with, who you want to start conversations with and get to yes, right? So for me, I want my video content to be fun, insightful, to have clear, actionable steps. So the strategy, the purpose, the focus all aligns with that in my verbal brand. One question I hear a lot is, but Elizabeth, what if no one shows up? What if no one shows up? Like, what does it matter if I have polls and engagement? Here are some tips. And this I was waiting for. Hold on one second. I usually have tissues here, but interesting. My checklist today was not thoroughly run. Guilty. If you didn't know this already, I'm not perfect. But here are some tips, and even today's session is an excellent example. At the time of this filming, like right now, live right now, I have 749 followers. So if you're watching on the replay, follow me and you can be number 750. And due to the cancellations that had happened this past week, this event or postponement, this event was posted yesterday. So basically, I'm showing up, I'm putting in the reps, but I didn't have a lot of time to promote this. But even though there are not 3 digits of people, of viewers, even though there are very few live viewers, I want to get to 3 digits of viewers. And how am I going to do that? What is the best way to increase eyeballs on your content? One, publish early, which I didn't do. So I'm starting out at a disadvantage. 2 weeks in advance is a good number. Invite people. And then when you invite people, it's not as spammy as some people think. I was really intimidated at first to invite people, but it shows up in their notifications, not in their inbox. So that's a plus. Promote it, post about it, talk about it, get excited about it. If you have a guest, have them promote it. Get more eyeballs on your content by promoting it pre-event. Day of, absolutely. And then post-production. I'm going to promote this quite a lot more than usual, perhaps, to get eyeballs on it because I want to get at least 100 people viewing this video. And when you're watching this in the replay, maybe you can help cheer me on, share it in your feed. Sharing is caring. If you find something valuable, do help share with others. So, how am I going to promote this when creating new content? There are basically 4 main strategies to choose from. Reposting. It's like recycling. It's just the same content, same platform. In fact, LinkedIn, you can even do a single click repost button on LinkedIn, gets the job done. It's super and increases the reach and impressions. Or you can do a copy paste on other platforms. Easy done. Not a lot of bandwidth brain thinking there. Cross posting. Now, depending on what you're cross posting to, this can take up to an hour with reformatting. But basically, the concept is sharing the same content across multiple platforms. I'm actually cross posting live in front of you right now on both LinkedIn and YouTube. Check. 3, repurposing. This is really where the magic happens. It's all about transforming existing live streams, video, or content that you have into diverse formats. So we're not staring at a blank screen and starting from scratch every day. And for most of my clients, this is a game changer because they don't want to be content creators, but they need content to have a strong LinkedIn presence. So this is where the magic happens. I can take video content and transform it to a podcast, to a text post, to a short clip, infographics, our text posts, and more, quote posts. It's really much easier than starting from scratch. And number four, the fourth option when creating new content is to stare at a blank screen, wondering where motivation comes from. Guess which one I don't recommend? If you said number four, you're right. You're right. So I hope by the time you view this, it will have 3 digits in viewers. And why is that important to me? Why should I care? Because I just said numbers weren't important. And I'll tell you, because I want to speak up. I want to share my message and inspire you. Yes, you, my viewer, to join me in the world of live video streaming. So I really want to encourage you. And the more eyeballs I get here, the more we can have in our community. Great. So how do you currently, poll question, how do you currently repurpose your content, video or other, for maximum impact? For the people who wanted to say, I want to have a greater impact. How are you doing this? All right, we're going to use letters because we've used numbers in the past. So A, share it on multiple media platforms. So maybe I take it from LinkedIn to YouTube to Facebook to Instagram. A. B, embed it in blog posts or articles. So transform to maybe your website or an article and transform it into long form text. C, I use it in email marketing campaigns. So moving it into a close community that you already have or a following that you already have. Maybe people who aren't on LinkedIn or aren't on social media platform where you're creating the content originally. You can share it via email and get them there and back and forth. So that's C. Or D, I don't currently repurpose my video content. So A, share it on multiple media platforms. B, blog posts and articles. C, email. D, oops, this is a good place for me to think about. All right, so we are at 32 minutes, and I'm going to go a little bit longer today because we want to talk about tech readiness. This is the fourth pillar. This is the fourth pillar, and probably the one I get the most questions about of these four. Tech readiness. So let's talk about it. Tech readiness is basically making sure you have everything you need, hardware and software, to start, to go live. And my recommendation here is always make it simple. Use what you already have and then slowly over time grow from there. All right. I'm getting some notifications, but seems like things are fine. Grow from there. So about choosing the right equipment, I get a lot of questions about this, whether it's hardware or software. There is no one right holy grail answer. It really depends on your purpose. What kind of live stream do you want to do? Do you want to be on location? Do you want to be in a studio? Do you want to have guests who are in the studio with you? Or are you joining together remotely? What is your purpose? What is your strategy of your live streaming? What's your budget? Because cost should certainly be a variable when making a decision. The third one I also encourage people to think about is tech complexity. Some platforms or some microphones, some hardware, some software is very simple, easy to use. A clear one button plug in kind of interface, easy to use. Some are more complex with a lot of buttons and levers and whistles and sliders. And so it's all about you and how comfortable you feel with the hardware and software? How comfortable are you with the complexity of the interface and using it? Do you want a plug and play system, or do you want to have control over the different variables? So, those are the three main things I encourage people to consider when choosing their equipment, both software and hardware. And of course, it's important once you've determined which tools you're going to be using to prepare yourself on how to troubleshoot some common issues. When things are happening when you're live, what are your go to plans for troubleshooting? And a lot of these resources are available or can be guided once you've decided what you're using, because each one's a little bit different. So, good. Mm. A special note here. Um, I get a lot of questions about hardware. I get a lot of questions about hardware and software, which is why I am trying StreamYard today. But I want to give you I have a quick guide for hardware upgrades over time. As I said, when you start out, I would really try and use what you already have or make the smallest investment possible if you don't already have something. But then over time, as budget and time and accessibility allows, do upgrade. And this is the order, the 5-step order that I encourage people to upgrade. And I do it myself as well. The first thing is to get a second device, whether that's another computer, a buddy, somewhere else, if you're worried about the bandwidth of your internet, a phone. This is to check the visuals, check the comments, check the sound to make sure everything's coming through and running appropriately. If you have a team, then you're obviously going to have a second device already built in. But if you're on your own, this is a good thing to consider. Number 2, audio equipment. Get a good microphone. Audio and sound quality is so important. In fact, it's much more important than most people realize, because if the video quality is grainy or even stopping and freezing, but I can hear the value you're delivering, most people will still engage. However, if the audio quality is unclear, but the video quality is clear, like, I'm probably going to scroll on by if I can't understand what you're saying. Kind of the glory days of silent films are gone, aren't they? That said, many people on LinkedIn and on social media are watching videos with the sound off. So, why would I say having a good mic is important? For the captions. Most people are not typing in the captions by hand afterwards. In fact, I wouldn't recommend it. But AI or other tools, software tools, are listening to your recording, transcribing the words, which is why it's essential to have a clear audio recording for that. So even when people are listening without sound, we still need high quality audio. So that's why I would say one of the first things to invest in would be a good quality microphone. Number 3, lighting. Maybe you're adjusting the window, you need to get a new positioning, a ring light, a flat panel box, etc. Think about your lighting. You want to look good and not have harsh shadows, unless that's your brand. A little Dracula vampire-y look. Number 4, a quality camera. For most people, the camera that we have, the microphone that we have built into the phones, these devices we carry around every day, is good enough to start, or is good enough to go on location, is good enough to get your message across. That's why my first thing was verbal branding, LinkedIn presence, the content of the video, and now finally we're talking about the tech equipment, because most times it's good enough. And number 5, another thing I would recommend if you don't have one already for other purposes is getting a second monitor, giving yourself more space so you can spread things out and move things about and have the ability to kind of be in the back end, the front end at the same time for yourself if you're on your own. So, all right. So that kind of wraps up the tech aspect. So, how confident Are you feeling, because this might be a live event I will talk about soon, how confident are you in your ability to troubleshoot some common technical issues during a LinkedIn live stream? How do you feel about doing that while you're presenting, while you're speaking, while you're going on? Like if that concept just like sends you running like one of the kitties, like, or do you feel very confident? Let's do the letters again. So we're going to go with A. I'm cool with it. I'm super confident. B, somewhat confident, a little bit nervous. 3, not very confident. D, if that ever happened to me, I think I would have to dig a hole and crawl in. How confident are you with this? I mean, when I started out, I was definitely way down in D. I could not imagine. I had a team. I had to have other people doing the video for me. I was focused on the verbal branding, being present, speaking, connecting, reaching out to my audience, interaction. And then over time, I was able to build up my tech muscles for the background. I wasn't afraid of tech, but I was afraid of doing it at the same time. It's two very different fields in my mind, and it was hard for me to bring them together. But showing up, putting in the reps, focusing on improving 1% each time, now I would say I've shifted from a D to like, I'm not at all confident, to an A minus. I'm pretty confident, but there are times when things have fallen apart and I just feel like you're gonna have to ignore me and I need to. Once I even ended the session because the police were knocking at my door. So, there's that. And Michelle, I think you were present for that one. Oh, that was a day. That was a day. So, in closing, as I mentioned before, I'm going to bring this visual back up. These are the 4 pillars that I've distilled of making a LinkedIn live video: verbal branding, LinkedIn presence, video content, and tech readiness. Now, we talked about this at the beginning of our session. How do you feel about making and posting video content, either live video content or recorded video content? How do you feel about that? And we had the catometer, and you all put in their numbers of where you are in the catometer. And I told you my goal during this session, by digging into the nitty gritty here of each of the 4 pillars, was to shift you towards that number 10 happy kitty, shifting you from a 1 to maybe a 4 or 5, or from a 5 to an 8 or 9, and from a 10 I want to shift you all the way up to number 12, because you can do this. You can do this over time. And that's really what I want for you. So, why now, or what to do now? What is next? Why is now the best time to start using video? If you haven't noticed, reach has gone down. The algorithm seems to be punishing rather than rewarding activity. Like, people who have been consistently getting high numbers for over time, a long period of time, are noticing a dip. Those who are just starting out, you don't have the data perhaps yet to notice this, but the data is in. People are analyzing it and have noticed a dip in reach. The algorithm doesn't hate you. There are shifts, there are changes, and AI is pumping out a lot of text content. AI is also pumping out a visual content as well, but many people have access to ChatGPT or Meta AI or other forms that are pumping out a lot of text. So LinkedIn live streaming helps you stand out, helps get you front of mind, helps trigger the know, like, trust response, gets you in front of the people you want to speak with, you want to have conversations with, you want to increase your agreement rates with. So get those conversations, get to yes, find out how to do that together. Video is jumping to the forefront right now as AI and text increases. Being present, authentically you with your words, your voice, your face, your name, getting in front of the people who are waiting to hear from you. And I want to encourage you to do that, to join me, to be part of the video wave, and so that you can boost your online presence and your career growth, because I want that for you. So join the movement, join me, and start streaming today. Invite me to tag me in your videos, tag me in your live streams. I would love to support you. And if you're curious about wondering where you stand on each of these 4 pillars, oops, I have a quiz for you. This is the Go Live with Ease diagnostic quiz. You can take this quiz. It takes fewer than 3 minutes. You get a personalized report, and then we can talk about what this all means, where you are, where you stand, and what are the minor tweaks that will boost your presence, that will boost your agreement rates, that will maximize your impact starting tomorrow, right? How awesome is that? So if you're interested in continuing this conversation, send me a DM. Let's keep talking. And watching the replay, interact in the comments. Let me know what you think. What is valuable to you? Let's keep this conversation going. And I'm Elizabeth, and I wish you all a lovely rest of the day. Ciao.